need access to the internet, it's also on your agenda. Real quick, let's introduce everybody. We'll start with Craig.
Yeah, Craig, and one KY.
Bill from Scottsville, thank you for our service.
K4 BLI Danny.
K4 WB
KO4 PVI Joseph.
Trent, what did you?
KJ4 TCW Trent.
KL4 DJ Frank. KJ4 ARE
KC4 LC, Josh.
KC4 TCC,
Okay.
N4 JIL, Shirley.
K14 UD, Edgar.
KN4 UOI.
All right, Adam, thank you. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. Thank Miss Charlene for the delicious desserts that we have over there. If you haven't got it, please swing over and get that. As I'll have this slide up here for all the prison, I guess. Ham radio is a hobby of 1,000 hobbies, and we're going to look at one hobby tonight, and that is 3D printing for ham radio. And Adam, I'll give you your presentation and stuff, and you can go ahead and get started.
Come on up with me.
Nope, okay.
You're part of it too.
What is it?
You're part of it too. All right. Well, get out of the way here. Let's see. All right. So, what is 3D printing? So I'm going to cover types of 3D printers, advantages, disadvantages, what is 3D printer filament, how can it help in amateur radio, and how can you find things to print. So there's two main types of 3D printers. There's what's called FDM, filament deposition, and resin printers. The FDM printers are what you typically see here. They take a long string of material. You can see back there. It's a long string of plastic, melts it down, and then draws out a pattern layer by layer. Resin printers take a liquid that is UV sensitive, shines a laser or a UV mask up through the bottom, and cures layer by layer like that. Now, the FDM printers are typically much stronger. You can get carbon fiber reinforced filaments to make parts that are almost as strong as aluminum. The resin printers are really great for detail work. You can get like 1080p resolution on a 6-inch screen and do some very, very fine detail. If you look closely, you can see the guy's eyelashes and eyebrows in that model right there. But they're very brittle. They don't hold up to any kind of force at all. Yeah, so kind of going through it. You can see FDM printers, like I said, are strong, but you get like layer lines right here. You can see on the little baby Yoda there. You get obvious layer lines to it from where it slices and makes each layer at a time.
You can affect that in software about how your nozzle on your 3D printer and your...
There are some ways to mitigate it. There are ways to mitigate some of these issues, but for functional parts, it doesn't really matter that much. The resin printers do a lot more very fine details like that very thin lattice there. But again, they're mainly used for miniatures and very fine detail work. Like I said, we've got a spool of filament right there that it's just a long string of plastic. You order it by the kilogram. It's usually like 300 meters of plastic.
Kind of looks like weed eater string.
Basically the same stuff. Weed eater string's actually nylon. Yeah, nylon filament. And I've seen some people try and feed it into 3D printers before. Typically what we are using for most general 3D printing needs is material called PLA. That is ASA right there, which is similar to, it's a similar molecular structure to ABS plastic, just slightly less toxic when it melts. Unfortunately, ABS has a tendency to release a lot of very noxious chemicals when it melts. So ASA is a healthier alternative. So like I said, the general use plastic is PLA, but as you can see here, PLA has a tendency to warp very badly in even mild heat. That got left in my car trunk for a couple of days and warped very badly. PETG is another one that's used pretty often, and it's better at heat resistance. I have a lot of trouble printing it, but a lot of other people prefer it. And then there is TPU resin. Give me your keychain. Or hold on, I've got an example of TPU right here. Yeah. So TPU comes out as a very flexible rubbery plastic. Yeah, like that. Whereas PLA, not so much. The ASA is very good at UV resistance. PLA is not rated for UV resistance, but I have seen many examples of people leaving PLA parts out in the sun for years and not losing any real rigidity to it. If you want to go UV resistance, the ASA and the ABS are the better alternatives for that. But even TPU has pretty good resistance if you don't mind it being flexible. So I have a little 3D printed emoji on my back window ledge that's made out of TPU. Let's see. How can it help in amateur radio? So there's a lot of like, oh yeah, I can make little boats and random other gizmos and gadgets, but what can I do with it for 3D printing? Well, we gave away some wire winders a couple weeks last meeting. These are very useful. Smaller wire winders. This is a piece right here that you can see up there. Mike actually contacted me and asked if I could print a few of these for him. These are dipole insulators that go to RG8X and then have a couple holes right here to run some wires out for a dipole. And there are so many things. Rails for radios. Several of you might have seen the towers I'm working on. These big guys. And to help make those, I made several 3D printed tooling jigs so I can precisely drill holes in the right locations. These have little metal inserts so I can run the drill bit through in the same spot over and over again without destroying the print. And then I also have things like this, little Anderson power pole connectors. These are like $28 if you buy them from Anderson the Anderson distributors. This cost me about 10 cents in plastic. So great way to, and this is made out of the same ASA, so it will survive. Yeah, here, actually, I'll pass all these around. Oh yeah, the power poles I bought, but this is,
Okay, those are just the inserts.
yeah, and not really amateur radio related, but this is a Christmas wrapping paper cutter. Just slide it down the tube and it has a little razor blade right there. So there's a lot of very useful things you can do. These are some pieces I made for some mesh-tastic nodes that I'm building. Painter's pole, dipole connectors. I put a SMA to N on there for testing a mesh-tastic node, but typically I design that for use as a dipole connector. They've got quite a few options. There's 3D printed keys. This right here is a 50 cal ammo can mount for a radio. there are so many options. You can see my 3D printed IC705 up there.
You get the chances for every radio or just
The only one I really know of is the 705. For whatever reason, they decided to release the STL files for that.
there's no schematic for the radio?
That's why there are so many accessories for the 705, is because they released the model for it, and anybody can go out and print their own 705. I printed that before I actually went and bought mine, and it was nice to be able to sit there and hold it in my hand and go, yeah, this is perfect. So how can you find things to print? There are a lot of websites. Oh, yeah, hold on, let me go back. Okay, so there are two big websites. Well, three websites that I really recommend: Thingiverse, Printables, and Yegi. Yegi is a search engine. You type in power poles, and it'll search every 3D printer website for anything power pole related. Thingiverse is nice, has a lot of options, very cool, very has a updated like every 30 days, like what's popular. But it in the last year or so, it's been swamped by ads. Uh, Printables is much cleaner, doesn't have quite as many options, but I like the user interface better. But if you just really want to find something, Yegi is the best website to go to. Or draw your own. There are a lot of websites, a lot of programs out there for different 3D modeling applications. Takes a little bit of learning to get going and make your own things, but once you do, it opens up an endless possibilities of making things. I drew most of the things in that box. So you have a file, then you have to go through a process called slicer. You get what's called an STL file from a website like Thingiverse, load it into a program called a slicer. This one is Orca Slicer, which I think is the best out there right now. It's compatible with pretty much every printer out there. Basically what that does is it takes a solid model like that, slices it into layers, and then tells the printer how to draw each layer. And that's what you can see going on right here. It's telling it go back and forth, fill in all this space with this little nozzle, and then drop it down, repeat the pattern again. And then you start printing and hope you don't have failures. This was when I was testing out a printer, testing out a very large nozzle. If you look at the black power pole or black painter's pole, you can see it has much thicker layers. And it causes quite a bit of stress on the prints, and knocked that one off and made a big old lovely mess. But that's part of 3D printing, the big spaghetti messes.
So I'll just talk about some of these models I printed. You're not going to get rich 3D printing, but you can save some money pretty easily. For instance, this is a mesh casting node. Makes the H1? It's the big Musi Works is the company that makes these cases. They put the case out for free, or you can pay $20 for it. I think I ended up using cents of plastic.
Yeah, it's probably 15 cents of plastic right there.
Yeah, so $20, or you can print your own. Use other models that are up here. I do a lot of shortwave listening. Somebody designed a case or a stand for a what's this called? CountyCom shortwave radio. It's not the best design. You can see easily how it can fall over, but somebody had the idea to make a stand for it. You can also do, I don't know if you mentioned with yours, you can do functional prints, and you can print,
Oh yeah.
what are these called? Threads. And printers actually got enough resolution that it can print threads. So
there's a few in that box that, like the power pole connectors, have threads on them.
yeah, so it's not just boxes or little trinkets and toys. You can actually add, mechanical, what do you called?
Those are brass thread inserts that you can heat up and press into the plastic.
Pressing, yeah, so you can interface it with
Yeah.
stronger screws and make your prints even stronger.
Those rails right there.
This is an antenna launcher I made, and I noticed when I was designing it, there was a lot of fork in the barrel when you fire it. So I spent about an hour and made this top piece slides over the smaller chamber, and then the bottom has a clamp. I used those heated thread inserts, and I actually screwed it physically into it, so now there's no fork in either direction. It took me about an hour to design it in Tinkercad, and then turn around and print it. You know, there's very little labor to come up with parts and your own designs and stuff. If you can think about it, you can print it.
Yep. Like I said, there is a bit of a learning curve to learning the 3D modeling, but it opens up so many possibilities like that right there.
Tinkercad is, I don't really have any experience with 3D modeling, and I was able to pick it up in the course of a weekend. If you can use calipers and do basic math, it's pretty straightforward to create your own models.
Yeah. This printer, you can get a lot of these printers off eBay now. Maybe not this exact model, but there are always half a dozen Ender 3 printers on eBay that will do the exact same job. These aren't the fastest. Nowadays, this is taking what, like
that print is going to take took 3 hours to print. My modern printer that I have that's running a firmware called Clipper can do it in about 30 minutes. Yeah.
So they've
come really far in a really short amount of time.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between something really fast and something slow, price-wise?
They just worked out the software.
In all honesty, 90% of printers now are running the Clipper firmware, and yours was what, like $300, $400?
It was $300. I paid $100 to get some filament and other add-ons.
Yeah.
But $300 for a base printer, at $20 for PLA, and you'll be printing within a day.
That one you got for free.
I got that one for free because a lot of people buy them.
5 years ago, it was about $300 as well.
I don't need to buy it anymore.
There's a lot of options, and I had it somewhere in here. There are a few websites that will print parts for you and can even do parts printed in metal. I've actually had that done. PCBWay does mainly like FDM. I think they might have a metal printing option. There's a website called Sculptio that does printed metal parts. They basically make basically they print it in a plastic stuff and then they melt it away, and there's metal there that fills in with like steel, and it fills in with brass or something. I've used them before. They make some very nice parts. It's a little on the expensive side, but most of the time I was printing pieces, it was very small and it was like $50. So there's a lot of good options for it, and it's very useful. I print so many things radio related and just silly stuff in general. My nieces had to have some little 3D printed articulated lizards the other day. They're this big little lizards. So it's a great thing to add on to amateur radio. Like I said, I'm making like those towers. I've got pieces for tape measure, Yagi antennas. There's all sorts of fun things. That flexible blue piece in there is actually to fold over the tape measure blades so they aren't like flying free whenever they're stored.
Did you come up with those rails for your?
Yeah, I drew those out myself. Yeah, I'm sure somebody's probably got it. If not, I could put the files on Thingiverse or something. Yeah. All right.
Do you have any questions? what they can come up with. Uh, this, this is not ham related, but it's a flashlight, and it's got a rather harsh beam on it. But Joseph came up with some diffusers, and I've got a little flashlight in my pocket here, so you can just slip that over the lens of the flashlight. Of course, I wouldn't want to run it on high, but in a power outage, that would be quite useful. And you can make things like that. So I haven't got into it myself, but I watched Joseph do all this, and I think it's pretty neat. So thank you all for doing that. Next item I had on there, somebody had mentioned last month maybe about doing a Christmas parade float, but it looks like we're not going to be able to do that this year because the parade is at 9:30 on the same day that we have our no meeting eating meeting. I had that backward on the agenda I sent out. I said no eating meeting, but it's a no meeting eating meeting, and that's our awards. That will be on the same day, and normally we do a breakfast, so we'll talk about that in the November meeting. Does anybody, and we've got this for that morning, so we'll do breakfast kind of like we did. Okay, my apologies. The other night at the meeting, something happened, and my iPhone stopped recording the meeting. So in the meeting, I've got the agenda up. I wanted everybody to see that. We had talked about the Bowling Green Christmas Parade. It's at 9 a.m. and it's on the same day as our awards meeting, which is our no meeting eating meeting. It's the same day as the Christmas Parade. And after talking with several folks, or talking to the club, they decided that this year we wouldn't try to do a float, but maybe next year we could plan to be in the Christmas parade and schedule our no meeting eating meeting on a different day. Also, we are planning a KCARC breakfast fellowship Saturday, November the 8th at 10 a.m. We're going to go to Teresa's like we've done in the past. And have a meal, and then afterwards, if Craig's available, N1KY, he agreed to do a fox hunt. I've got to check back with him later or earlier in next week to see if he's going to be available. But we will still have a fellowship meal that morning, Saturday, November the 8th at Teresa's. Come if you can. Next, we discuss the technician class via Zoom. That's going well. I've had several people join live with me on that on Monday nights. It meets Monday nights at 6:30, and so we've got several folks that are taking the class to try to get their technician license. I shouldn't say try to get; they're going to get their technician license, and I'm helping them with that. So that's enjoyable for me. Our board of directors, if you're watching, any of you are watching, we are going to plan a meeting in November on Zoom. I'll be sending out an email later to let you know about that. Under new business, we had last month, the slate of officers were presented. No additional nominations were presented before the group. And so I asked for a motion to approve the officers for the 2026 year. Tim Meyer made the motion, and it was seconded by Lynn Norris. And the slate of officers were passed unanimously. You can see I put on here when the board of directors, when their terms expire. So next year we'll be looking for two more board of directors to run at the end of for the 2027 year. We had a discussion about the checking account. to move it to Service One Credit Union. The reason we were discussing that is the current bank wants to charge us like $60 for checks, and we can get them through the credit union for like $15. So after discussion, Tim made the motion to move it to Service One, and Charlene Mills seconded that, and we'll pick up with, we did get the video started back, so we'll pick up with the vote on that right here. So thank you for watching our club meeting. I hope you can come out. And like I said, we'll resume with the club voting on the move to Service One Credit Union. Thank you. All right, so we have a motion from Tim that we move to Service One Credit Union. Do I have a second?
Here, Pat.
All right. Shirley seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And I'll abstain because of my relationship with the credit union. But like I say, if we have any issues out of them, I know who to talk to. So, no, it come unplugged. It come unplugged and it shut off. But we got it going again, so maybe hopefully I can pull them together. Do we have any old business? Okay, if not, we'll go ahead and move into the door prizes.
We were talking about my meeting following your meeting.
Yeah.
The meeting, no meeting, whatever.
No meeting, eating meeting.
But I got this room reserved after that for my geocaching Christmas party, and he suggested that, my people want to come earlier, y'all want to stay late, find out that geocaching and learn about the radios. So.
Anybody opposed to that? The more the merrier, and we get to meet new people and
All strange anyways.
Okay, all right.
It's different strains.
So,
How was the plan for winter field day launch?
well, that'll probably be the major topic in November, because December we won't actually have a meeting, and then January, I think the meeting is the week after, so we'll do more planning in November. Okay. All right. Now, I've got several door prizes tonight.
Last year we did a dry run of the winter field day after the no eating meeting, or the no meeting eating meeting.
Yeah.
So what, do we still want to try and do some of that here afterwards?
That'd be great.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it would be a problem.
As long as we're not
Oh, no, they'll be in your face looking at it.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, they will be, I know a couple that will. They'll be looking over your shoulder.
Well, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Yeah, we'll be able to do that, and let's remind me that'll be the main topic for November is our winter field day planning. All right, we're ready for some door prizes. I want to thank Service One Credit Union, Toyota Bowling Green. They gave us, Toyota gave us 5 car washes. They're valued at $20 a car wash at Fast Freddy's. So we have those to give away. The grand prize tonight is the Little Debbie Christmas tree. I have 4 of those. There were 5, but something happened to it. I don't know. So that's our grand prize. We've got some of the batteries again from Credit Union, the little solar batteries that have the USB on the side and on both sides. So if you need hopefully, I always can use one of these, and it's got a built-in flashlight too. So we're going to give away 3 of those, and then we have some umbrellas, and some little cutting boards and so forth. Joseph, have you got your random number generator? We have 14 tonight. And I think everybody's going to get a prize tonight.
Okay. Number 1, that's you.
That's me.
Number 3.
Danny Bays. You want a car wash, a coffee cup, or a battery? Battery. All right, next.
10.
Number 10, Trent. What would you like? Car wash, coffee cup, or a battery? All right. Or an umbrella. We've got other things up there. I'm just thinking these are probably the most popular.
7.
Number 7, that would be Lynn Norris. What would you like? Car wash, a little cutting board, a wire winder, a little Debbie's cake, coffee cup, umbrella, and a battery. All right. They come in handy. I've got one of those. Okay. Number 13, Frank. What would you like? A car wash, a little cutting board, a little Debbie's cake, a wire winder, a coffee cup, umbrella, or a battery?
Battery. I love batteries.
All right.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to bring those batteries up building here.
Okay. All right.
5.
Number 5, Megan. A car wash. Oh, there you go. All right, next.
9.
Number 9, Bill.
What? I'll take a photo shade.
A POTA shade. All right, an umbrella.
Thank you.
All right. Josh. All right. You're a man after my own heart. 10? Yep. Number 4, Tim.
I'll take one of them little babies.
All right.
We see the real value.
Yes, yes. Edgar. No, wait a minute. 13 we've already had.
7.
We already got 7. We don't have 8, 11, 12, and 14. Craig.
I need an umbrella.
Need an umbrella. All right. There you go.
Thank you.
12. Car wash, coffee cup, cutting board, or a wire winder? Edgar. We got this size and we got this size. Oh, the white one's done. You want to give that away? All right, there you go. 11 and 14 and 1 and 2, which is you and me. 14, Adam, what would you like? All right. There's a little secret in there. All right, just give me another number between 1 and 14. We've gotten, Shirley, you got something, didn't you? Yeah. All right, so just give me a number between 3 and 14. Adam, I'm going to give you a car wash. Okay. You want a little Debbie's cake? Who? You didn't get a prize? All right. What would you like? A car wash? The what? I've got the little cutting board, little wooden cutting board. All right. Use it for a cheese board. I'm going to give you a car wash too. All right. Let me check her. Okay, give me another number. 10? Trent? You want a car wash? Cutting board? Coffee cup? Little Debbie's cake? The winder? Which one?
That one's for HF and that one's for.
Cables. I've got one I use on my USB-C cables. The big one? Hand that to him. Can I just pull this up? Why don't you come get it off so I don't mess anything up?
I got a spatula.
Hold on. All right. There we go. All right, I'm going to give away two things. Got a wire winder and a coffee cup. Number 8. Craig. You get both.
I'll get both.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to give away a cutting board and a car wash. 13. Frank. Here, yeah, here's your cutting board and a car wash.
Oh, okay, well, thank you.
All right. We're going to do a cutting board and a little Debbie's cake. 5. Megan.
Thank you.
That'd be it. You can use that for cheese. All right. We got a coffee cup, a car wash, and a wire winder. 11. Charlene. Okay, we've got a car wash and a grocery bag. Number 12. Edgar. Oh. Yeah. Carry all your loot home with that. All right, if there's nothing else, if you all will help us put the tables away and chairs, I think that's all I've got. Anybody that wants to, please join us at El Maz for a little dinner. So, thank you all for being here. Did it stop again?